that we are at a tie match at the drop. Double gen pop to avoid the deadlock. They do go down. There is a haste status effect. They did be careful here. The hatch is going to spawn momentarily. Deadhard could get them the distance to get it too. Hard shot.
Really smart play on the ace. Oh my god, getting shot through the window.
No longer have distortion, and they are going to teleport here. I think they get there in time. Yes!
Oh, the grab. Yes! That is disappointing. This is be a 4-man out because.
Yeah, but they will be able to block this. Yo, getting caught on that. Ace coming with the body block. Oh, they were here. All right, everybody, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. It is the Season 5 finale, and I am excited. We got Eviscerate and Eternal. The double, I was looking for some kind of double E joke here, but I'm really struggling, Gil. Help me out here.
You know, the excellent Eviscerate and Eternal, I don't know.
There
I
you
struggle
go.
busting as well. But with that being said, we're getting quite the treat as I wasn't expecting this on the No Holds Bar finals. We're getting a twin.
I feel like there was something excellent to be said here as well because I don't know why we saw twins. This is not the killer would have picked. I assume that this is wait. Is this a spectator bug? I'm not seeing perks in the corner. Guild, are you seeing this?
I'm not either. We're not gonna question it.
All right, we're here for it. But regardless, we are here. Okay, there. Okay, perks are back. Good. We're just making sure. Good first hit.
I could have sworn that you see them with Victor, but maybe it's just been a while since
spectator
I played
bug.
twins.
Yeah,
you know, there's 5 twins players in the entire world on Dead by Daylight, so you know, who knows? Bug, feature,
Ooh, beautiful mind game there and getting a hit on Sheva there. And chasing her off, looks like that's alive, so they are going to get a little bit of distance. Using the firecracker prematurely as well. I don't know if they're going to make it to this palace. They don't. And
yeah,
first down.
That's a really rough start here for these survivors, actually.
Absolutely.
A really good down there for the twins. They also had Victor on ace, at most 2 survivors on gens this entire time. And looks like we're going to get a bit of a central hook. We've kind of been seeing that a lot on the Cold Tower here, where the killer's really been prioritizing those central hooks to ensure that they're able to guard the gens and that hook for a 2-for-1 combo.
Indeed, and worth noting, that was a quick hook, so agitation at play. I think they wanted to go to the basement at first, but then when they realized the survivor was there and they could take hits, it wasn't going to work out. And so yeah, now they got a nice central hook location, which regardless of if it's basement or central hook, it's really good. Also worth noting, where they chased the Sheva off of the gen initially, there's no pallet there anymore, so that's a dead zone. And they,
yeah,
wow.
No, that is a pretty huge factor there. And we do see them moving towards second stage here. Only about 30 seconds left, 2 survivors injured. That means that the Ace and the Claudette will have to get off of their gens in order to get a safe unhook here. But based on that killer instinct, I don't think they're coming for this unhook.
I don't think so either, as yeah, Ace working on gen. These guys will accept second stage for some gen progress. However, we haven't seen a gen pop yet. That's worth noting.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure this killer has.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We saw the Ace working here, and we do see that this gen is highlighted in yellow. However, not really any information yet to whether or not it is Colubrine or Eruption. And we see Victor going out once again, looking for the Claudette, and I think they're trying to force a 1-for-1 trade here. Claudette will take the hit, going to the hook for the unhook on the Shiva, and looks like Claude will get a little bit of distance here, though in fact it looks like they're going for the tunnel out instead.
It would make the most sense. Every survivor here is injured. They can't take body blots. They can't come and do anything. All they can do is sit on gens or try to reset. And it looks like Ace is going to get a reset there. I don't know if that was a med kit on them. I think it's the med kit they might have.
Yeah, I think you're right. So probably one more charge if that left in that med kit. Do you want to note that Twins did not break that pallet there on the left-hand side, but Shiva not going back to it, instead going to this pallet here, and looks like Twins just taking their time to bring out Victor and try and get a quick down. Let's see if they're able to dodge the Vic and get the kick, but they are not, and they will go down, possibly being the first survivor sent back to the campfire via the entity.
That was the most beautiful line of poetry I've ever heard in DVD casting. Thank you for that. And yeah, 2 gens are popping now for the price of the Sheva, and so it's a matter of, is it worth it to these... Wait. What is going on? I hear Claudette, but...
I think they were concerned. I think they saw that killer instinct and thought that maybe a balanced landing play into the pallet drop was the play here.
That's
but
too
by
distant.
them wasting so much time, that's 3 gens now completed to what could be potentially 1 dead survivor. And no pallet drop, no save. Shiva being sent back to the campfire via the entity, and looks like that will be a 1K at a minimum for this Twins.
Absolutely. Worth noting is that Shack Gen, as they're heading towards, it has not been popped yet. And I'm wondering if they are saving that one for later? No, it's gonna pop. Yeah, Ace is gonna be able to finish it here and get away scot-free potentially, as there is a tile right next to us with a fresh pallet. Twins looking in a harsh spot despite the fact they just lost a survivor. I think trying to be a little bit cautious there might have cost them in the end, not wanting to get that pallet save, but now you've got 2 gens finished when you could have blocked one. Wait, what?
Yeah, Claudette trying to come in to get the kick on Vic, however, not able to get it in time as the killer instinct betrayed them. Claudette will be going down for it. This could be huge. This could be the turning point here for this Twins if they are able to get the ace down as well. Not to mention a 10% skill check regression there, 9 seconds off that gen. This might just be a turnaround moment.
It might be. Oh my goodness. Wait, what?
No shot.
Did they hear it?
I think
that's huge.
It is a 50-50. They found the 8, and I think they're close enough to get the pick.
They do get the pick. That is incredible. That might be lights out. That might be securing the 4K of 1 gen. They did get the pickup on the Claudette, though. Is that a potential unbreakable or not?
Hard to say for certain. They could have pocketed that unbreakable. We haven't seen Deliverance, and usually it's a key moment to say, okay, Deliverance on Deli, Unbreakable's on Deli. But we haven't
Claudette
really
was
seen
the only
that at all.
Claudette was the only unhook that happened, so it is possible that Claudette does have Deliverance Unbreakable, but I don't think we've seen who has the Sprint Burst yet. And, oh, they do find Ace. Claudette also hasn't reset yet. Now they're both injured. This might be lights out. I think this is lights out. I don't think they can get the 4th gen done now, or the 5th gen. This is a central hook.
It's going to be really difficult. We see 2 gens from this one location, one currently being regressed by Call of Brine. Do want to note something. We have not seen the Twins' 4th perk as of yet. We know of Agitation, we know of Call of Brine, we know of Corrupt Intervention. That 4th perk, though, still a little bit of an unknown.
That's a good point. Could be a no way out. I wouldn't be surprised to see no at either. Endgame packages are pretty common on the Twins. And look, just look at this situation. She is literally in the Bermuda Triangle right now of generators. And with Call of Brine and Victor being, you know, the cat and mouse killer they are, how do survivors get out? How do survivors get out of this situation? Twins holds down the door scenario too, so you don't necessarily even need no way out. If it's a no way, then it's just game over.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is kind of a tough situation. I think Call of Brine also did its job on that hill gen. It was really close, but that skill check may have cost them the gen completion, in fact. And I think at this point, we're going to see Ada progress to death, being sent back to the campfire via the entity. And that's going to leave the Ada or the Claude and the Ace, rather, to try and finish out this last gen. But I do want to note, they haven't healed yet. I would have expected them maybe to regroup in some way, shape, or form.
I think the survivors realize that the scenario here is you're not looking to get this 5th generator done. Both these survivors that are left have not been hooked yet. And there could be even a potential Deliverance on the Claudette. So there might be discussing right now using this time that she's unhooked, as teams do sometimes, and they discuss what their strategy is. You don't... Gen's not on the table anymore. Is a hatch on the table, because this exit gate is opposite of Shack, which even with Victor, I think you could still get it in time. So I personally think that we're going to see some kind of exit gate attempt.
Yeah,
Like, it's the only thing left.
I think you're right. At the same time, if the Twins play smart, I think that there's a very real possibility they just sit Victor by that exit gate. Blood on the ground, though. Hold up 1 second. This is a survivor run into the corner. We've seen this time and time again here on the cold tower and a down on the ace. We now start the 4-minute timer. We've seen this before. I imagine we'll see it here again. This is going to be an attempted bleed out. However, we noticed this yesterday, and I think this is going to be maybe why the Twins brought this. In fact, not for the central hook, but for these corner hooks. As I think now,
that's a good point.
Twins has the ability to drag them closer toward Shaq. This is the same corner we see every time. Survivors go to it and hope that they are able to bleed out here and make it so that the killer is unable to get the hook or get them to the Shack in time, and that way they can get the escape. But with agitation, they can't really rely on that strategy anymore.
True. Also worth noting is that we've seen agitation a couple times just on all the different killers, and yeah, that seems to be a pretty well accepted strat at this point, which is so weird to think that in Dead by Daylight, agitation is a competitive strategy on Cold Tower. But with how the Survivor meta has shaken out for competitive and how well Survivors are on this map, yeah, it just kind of works out that way. It's really weird. It's really weird, but I'm enjoying it. This agitation's paid off dividends. They got 2 central hooks that are just absolutely brutal and backbreaking for Survivors to deal with. So, yeah, now it's a matter of what's Claudette's plan.
Yeah, and we see the Twins doing exactly what I expected them to do, setting up Victor over by the exit gate, and now Claudette has to make a choice. Do you try and attempt for the exit gate by sneaking up to Victor, getting the kick in as soon as Ace and the hatch have closed? Or do you go for the hatch escape? Do you go for a bleed out play? Like, there's so many different things probably going on in the comms as we speak and determining what the correct game plan is. And honestly, I don't think there is any right one. It really comes down to how this killer is going to play it.
I would tend to agree. It's honestly kind of a coin flip, and considering how precisely this Twins has played, this is kind of a nightmare scenario for Survivors because they are really looking for any number of points they can get out here. I mean, obviously, if Claudette... Wait. Oh, Crow!
We saw the Crow. There's the Claudette, and she is healthy, mind you, so they can't go for the hit here. Claude, I think holding a sprint burst in hand, I think you're right about that deliverance, and looks like she's trying to set up, thinking that the hatch is on this side. Twins, though, standing on it. Will they get it right? Get out!
No way! They didn't calculate the placement! No way!
That is huge here for those Survivors. That is 3 points in the hands of the Survivors.
That's 6 points denied to the killer!
Correct. So just the 3 points alone basically is that last generator plus 1 survivor out with 2 hooks on them.
Oh my goodness, that's 18
then
to
you
30.
add on the 6 points from the killer that is now gone missing. That is 2 fresh survivors out, on top of which that is insane value for those survivors getting that fresh out right there.
Yeah, that's 18 to 11, right?
I believe
we've seen that scenario a couple times before. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah, that is game-changing.
Oh,
that was
my
a
goodness.
back and forth for the ages and DBD comp, and so great job there by both teams. And with that being said, we are going to set up for trial number 2. This time, though, we're going to be seeing Eviscerate's Blight versus Eternal Survivor team. And, I mean, at the end of the day, kind of what we're talking about there, they're going to need to get more than 18 points for their killer.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that like if Twins had held down the fort and 4K'd at 1 gen remaining, that is the equivalent to what we see Blights and Nurses put out quite regularly, and actually could have gone toe-to-toe with this Blight, but that Survivor escaping, this Blight has a very achievable win condition as long as the killer plays properly.
Yeah, I mean, that like I said, that was a 2-man out, fresh, 1 survivor out with 1 hook. That's basically the equivalent. So what they're going to need to do is pretty much secure a 3K, give or take there. Mm-hmm. So if they secure, actually not even 3K, I think a 2K will pretty much claim it. So if they get a 2K here, I think they will win this.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. It's kind of incredible that I can't believe that they didn't pinpoint the position. Hadge has how much How much leeway to spawn at the shack? How much?
It's not a lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot. That's what I thought.
It is not a lot, but okay.
Just
with that being said,
unfortunate.
we could dissect this moment
Oh, man.
for the rest of the stream.
Yeah,
but
you're not wrong.
We're getting this next lobby set up as we speak. So as we do want to go on a
man.
quick break. As always, though, thank you all for joining us today for the finals of Season 5. And with that being said, we want to thank you as you, the viewers, are our sponsors. So the ads that you watch, all the bits that you tip, all the stuff that you buy, and of course all the Rogue Energy you buy using the code COTF goes to supporting Champions of Fog and the prize pools for Group A and Group B. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
Buy more Rogue. Alright folks, welcome back to trial number 2. We're gonna see them fire back with a Blight, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the Blight has a pretty good chance to clutch it here and take trial 1 for Eviscerate. I don't know about you.
It's going to be really interesting. I was racking my brain on the multitude of win conditions that this Blight has available, because a 3K, I think the 3K 2 hook would grant Eviscerate the win. However, like a 2K as well, then like a fresh hook on everyone else also has the possibility of a win. So there's so many opportunities here for the Blight to win this. It is their game to lose, and Shelby and I were doing actually data validation on all of the games from Season 5, and Blight's looking pretty good here if you look at their average. So it's going to come down to how well these survivors can play around the Blight.
True. I will say the Cold Tower does have a lot of really tricky... Right there, a lot of really tricky geometry that is difficult for Blight to get around, and survivors are making great use of it. Ace doing a really good job taking this chase on a little bit longer than the Blight would probably like. Survivors already spread out to the win. Corrupt Intervention about halfway through, vaulting back through the L wall, blocking it off entirely. This Ace is doing his best, and he does end up going down.
Really amazing chase there by the Ace, to say the least. Like, that is the chases that they need to see. But the thing is, they were doing it right next to this doubled up gen. That is going to be really detrimental here for these survivors, especially as we see the Blight coming over to kick the gen. And that, friends, is going to be a pop goes the Weasel.
However, it will allow for a clean hook trade here, potentially.
So, Ace, you doing all right there, Fred? I'm concerned we're going to see a DC.
Oh, they crashed. Oh, no.
That is heartbreaking for these survivors, I imagine. They're already in a bad scenario, and that only made it worse. And I would need to have our refs double check over on the VOD to see if 2 minutes had passed to verify whether or not.
I can tell by the recording when I started it. 2 minutes. That was about 1:45 or 1:40 on the DC.
Well, we'll let them verify real quick. We'll have them communicate with teams. We'll see what's going on from a rules perspective, because I think the survivors have realized that there's not much they can do here in the instance that is not a reset. And so, based on the timing, that will either be a win in favor of Eviscerate, or it will be a reset, depending. But we'll be back in just a moment once we discuss things. So hold on tight, and we'll be back with you soon, folks.
Take care.
right, welcome back, and thank y'all for your patience as we were confirming everything on our end. There was, in fact, a crash prior to 2-minute mark, which does force a reset. With that being said, though, we're going to be jumping right back in, and for those who are just joining us or did miss it earlier, this Blight, it doesn't have a very uphill battle. In fact, they might be running downhill here at the speed of a Blight, as they only need about 18 points in order to secure victory for their team in set number 1.
Ooh. And again, survivors, I think was this the ace that just got found again? Is this the same ace that led them on like a 1.5-minute chase at the beginning?
Yeah, I think it is, and I mean, the ace did a really good job there at start. We saw the survivors almost complete their first gen. I will say, though, that was Pop Goes the Weasel on that first gen, too, which was heartbreaking from a survivor perspective, but also one of the best things a Blight could see. But you see them back in chase here. I think is that with Jake? That
was Jake, yep. So they will be breaking away from this chase, taking the pallet, and going to find another survivor, looking potentially in their corrupt zone at that center generator. Breaking away from it. No progress with this gen. It looks like they might be in the top gen. Also, I didn't realize the corrupt zone is kind of split here.
Yeah, really unfortunate corrupt split, to say the least. We kind of see that 2 on one side, 1 over here on the main side. Blight going for this gen. Honestly, I don't think this is the right play, in all honesty. It's just so difficult to protect that generator, especially as a survivor 9 times out of 10 will have bounced lightning in hand.
That's a very good point. However, there were 2 survivors up there. Ace does take a hit, so I think Ace was the other survivor that was here in the area, and so they're back in chase now. Going ahead and breaking this. Another gen, however, is done. Not the one that I was expecting, and there is deadlock on the gen at the top as well. Where is Ace to be found, though?
Yeah, we see those blood trails making their way towards Jack's side, but kind of dropping off, doubling back there into that corner. Blight trying to figure out where they went and seeing them there back towards main, and Ace trying their best to continue this chase, much like what we saw in the original trial.
Ooh, and Jay coming in for the body block as well. Is it going to work? It does. Not able to get around, and Ace is going to be able to get away with a little bit of time here. Jake not fast faulting there. I think they might be holding on to a live, which is very patient and conservative on their part. Another tech into this corner. Oh my god, that's the second time that happened this game.
Yeah, honestly, survivors knowing full well the turn radius of that Blight, just unable to get that hit. Blight with a little bit of mind game attempt here. They need to get this down, and they know it as much. Ace, though, not falling for it. Not hearing the Blight. Oh my god.
My goodness. The patience and precision from this Ace has been amazing. Not able to slide by as the pallet does stun them out. They're going to have to wait for that charge to come back up. 1 generator's been down. 2 generators at least had to be being worked on right now. And Ace is juicing like I have never seen an Ace do before. Oh my word.
Yeah. You know, that first chase in the original trial, kind of just a bit of a warm-up here for the Ace, but they will finally get the down. But it looks like it may have been a little bit too late as the main gen did pop off. We are seeing deadlock once again there in the middle, and looks like Ace might be going to the basement.
It looks like that might be the case. Yeah, they are going to go for this basement hook here. Deadlock,
I will
another
say
15
there
seconds.
A little bit of a heart attack moment there where I realized, wait 1 second, that door is the one with the pallet, and that has not been thrown. But looking for the Blight, no survivor there working on the gen.
Absolutely. Deadlock coming offline, and there is Pop Goes the Weasel, which is a huge resource here for the Blight as this gen is going to start taking down. But they can't sit here. They can't afford to camp this second stage. 2 gens have already popped, which is not what you're used to seeing. Looks like they're using the speed add-ons to their advantage and going back and forth here. Maybe trying to see if they're going to go for the unhook. I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to let them go to second stage and pop 2 gens.
I think the Blight has the right idea here, and here's why.
Okay.
If you kind of looked where they're bouncing back and forth, they kind of have a 3-gen here. They have Jack, they have the Hill gen, all within line of sight of that basement. It really forces the survivors into a really awkward position, I think.
That's a fair point. However, they are leaving that. If the survivors are able to get into the basement and get an unhook before that second stage, it's going to be huge. I can't. They do. They didn't progress the second stage, and for the people as well. So Ace is not even a tunnel target. However, I don't think that that's the Blight's priority now. I think they're going to try and get as many fresh hooks as possible here.
Yeah, I think you're right. Realistically speaking, like we said earlier, the overall game plan comes down to getting 18 points and then a little bit more. So a 2K, a 3K, anything to that degree will result in a win in favor of Blight and Eviscerate. However, we do see the hit there on the ace, a decent target for the tunnel. However, like you said, that might not be the game plan that the Blight wants to go for.
It doesn't. However, they do. We do see these gens in yellow. We haven't seen these skill checks on it. This might be an eruption, and this would also be a huge play to get back. No, they finished the generator in time. Ace does go down. We see the explosion on the generator, but only second stage coming in here for the ace, and 3 generators down. Eternal is playing out of their mind right now.
Yeah, they really are. We do see that gen in the back corner there, getting some deadlock. Lockdown with that entity blocker. However, I don't think those are the gens that the Blight is worried about, as they need to hold this gen if at all possible. We see the unhook coming in for the gen. No for the people possible here from the Jake, and we do see another survivor coming in for a body block as well. That is all survivors injured as we speak, and it looks like we are seeing a tunnel on the ace in a bit of a dead zone here.
Yeah, Jake coming in, and I don't think they expected Jake to take a hit there from the Blight during the rush, but managing to avoid the iframes of the ace, and this is Death Hook. There is no decisive strike here. Like you said, all survivors are injured. However, they do pop the gen edge of the shack, which means that the other gen... Yeah, that corner gen has so much progress, and now the question is, can this Blight get enough hook stages? I think Eternal might pull this out. That gen has so much progress.
Realistically speaking, so the Blight at this point in time needs an additional 12 points in order to secure victory. They get the hit on the 8-0, 1 survivor currently healthy, and we do see an injured survivor there, but getting the vault in time, Blight has to make the choice here, go for the chase or go for the gen, and they do get the generator just in time. You see the adrenaline 2 from the Jake.
I was about to say, the way they were playing this, they had that other one 99 against the deadlock. We get a hook here. However, yeah, they have to drop this and go all the way to this other exit gate to get the Nia off of it, which I don't know if there's going to be enough time. However, wait, hold on. If Jake's here... No, wait, they stopped this, I think. No, they don't.
No, the Nia was
but
healed.
They can prevent
That's
Jake.
The biggest thing. Yeah,
they can prevent Jake
get
from getting
Jake,
out.
But will this be enough? It would be, so if they get the 3K, that'll be 18 points, but a full 3 out for the survivors, making it 13 points on the out. The 13 points might be enough.
Yeah, and with that heal and the exit gate, actually, I think if the survivors knew this, they would just leave right now. Yeah, Jake forcing the pick here, but we saw that Ada did get up with Unbreakable, and so I think the survivors, once again, pulling an absolute miracle out of their hats here, and that will be the 2-man out. Eternal is going to be able to hold down set number 1. That is incredible. I have not seen survivors play so well against the Blight before.
Yeah, really well played by the survivors, to say the least, especially those jukes into that little pocket. We saw multiple times used against the Blight. That Trainer is just not able to get the hits and the downs, especially on the ace, who really extended chases to a T, giving their team enough time to complete those generators. So amazing job by both teams. A really close set in the long run, but Eternal will take set number 1, and we are now going to set 2, where we are going to the Father Campbell's Chapel, this time with Eviscerate's Nurse against Eternal's Survivor team.
That's... I cannot get over how much of a roller coaster this first set has been. From the Twins game to the Blight game, both games are something I have not seen before, so... I don't know if I can handle set number 2. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Well, don't worry. You don't have to wait long, and I don't think you have time to prepare, as we are getting that lobby set up as we speak. So with that being said, we are going to go on a quick break as we do get this lobby set up and ready to go for you guys to enjoy today. Before we do want to remind everyone here today that we are partnered with Pugdom. Pugdom is a Dead by Daylight competitive community very similar to Champions of the Fog. In fact, they're going to be hosting the entirety of Group B for Season 6. So if you guys are interested in qualifying or just watching it unfold, definitely make sure to stop on by, say hi, and drop a follow. Not to mention, join their Discord too. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
All right, everybody, welcome back to set number 2. It's been a long time coming. I have not seen, to this day, a group of teams that took Nurse and then fought it with Blight. I have not seen a Nurse Blight mirror. I've seen Blight mirror, Nurse mirror, but not a Nurse Blight mirror.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting here. So for those who just joined us, we're going to be jumping into the Father Campbell's Chapel with Laser from Eviscerate piling the Nurse. And followed up by Eternal's Blight, and I just don't know. I do not think that Blight can stand up to the Nurse here on FCC, but we'll have to wait and see what this Nurse is able to do. A little fun fact, Nurse, her kill rate, a lot lower than it used to be with our changes in Season 5.
Man, it turns out that Nurse has busted crap that you can do on her, and when you balance her properly, she's skillfully intensive, very powerful, but not oppressive.
Yep, no, it is been an interesting thing to look at that data, but that being said, Nurse still very good nonetheless, and we are going to see the first hook here on the Ada in the Carnival, and actually a really good spot here for the Nurse, as they're going to be making their way back over to the Uncorrupted Gens, finding the Ace, though.
But to say that Ace, using Sprint Burst, I do believe they are the Deli Unbreakable target. Urs thinking the same thing, but Ada taking the hit here, I don't know if that's a good thing for them, though. As this survivor is about to get tunneled to, that. Is there a decisive?
That's the give and take, right? Because on one hand, it means that the Ace doesn't go down. But on the right side, we do see a...
Beautiful play.
That was really good. We saw the decisive, we saw the life. Actually, a really cute interaction there, in fact, as they're able to get a lot of good distance and extending the value of that decisive. So, you know what? Kudos on them for thinking that through.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting, I think Ace even had the flashlight there. So Ace was there to set up for the flashlight save, but they were like, nah, you got that decisive, right? And yeah, Ada going down, but so much time wasted. One gen going down for these survivors already. Deadlock on a separate generator, however, so we do know another perk here from this Nurse.
Yeah, and I'm almost guaranteed, as we have seen it time and time again, if you see a deadlock, they're bound to be a pop. So I imagine we'll see that shortly as well. But at the very least, we know deadlock corrupt, nothing else other than that. And we do see a survivor up in main trying to escape and will, in fact, see that pop goes the Weasel and a eruption, as Call O'Brien will not be able to be used here to boot.
Agreed. Also worth noting, it's really interesting to see how the... Oh, wow, they should have definitely saved that pop for this gen, but they will get a kick regardless, and maybe even patrolled a little bit, see where the survivor might have gone. I'm about to say, there's no real 3 gen to speak of. There's 2 gens back by the basement. You got one in main that's not progressed, but I'm not really sure what the Nurse's strategy here is. I think it's just like, I gotta have the shortest chase as possible and hope that it works. No for the people either.
Realistically speaking, that's what Nurse does and does best. We do see the Ada trying to hide out from the Nurse, unable to do so successfully, using the edge of the map to their advantage. We've seen time and time again, sometimes the best time to be chased by Nurse is when you're on the outside of the map, where Nurse really does get boxed in with the type of collision they have available to them. But Ada going back down, and it looks like they will be sent back to the campfire via the entity at only 1 gen completed. Mind you, I'm guessing that's going to be 2 here shortly if that gen on the hill.
Absolutely, and we see the gen in the back with Corrupt. However, it is worth noting, there's like the smallest notion of a 3 gen. The fact that Nurse can play with the 2nd floor does help a lot with that main building gen. But yeah, the 2 gens in the Carnival, very split from the other 2 on the other side. This middle gen's very safe still for the most part. I think survivors are in a pretty great spot. Yeah, look at this gen 99 and ready to go. I guess that is a pop coming in for the counterplay from the deadlock counterplay. So many layers here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've seen time and time again. It's really hard to play around deadlock when pop is brought in. However, with Season 6 coming around the corner, we are banning that combo. So we see next season if we see either deadlock and or pop all. So the meta will definitely get messed up just a little bit, and I imagine teams will pull out something new for us to go, didn't think about that, now did we?
All right, folks, you heard it here first. Giltspire does, in fact, love hating on fun. Anyway. No, but I get it. There's a good reason for trying to come up and, shake it up. At the very least, it makes the seasons feel different, and at the very worst, it just baseline addresses problematic combinations. So I do appreciate the tuning that we see from the stats that we had collected during the season. But with that said, we're just talking because this Nurse is trying to figure out who they want to chase here, and I don't think they want to find this ace, but the survivors definitely want them to find this ace, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost guaranteed at this point, based on what we saw there from that sprint burst, from that forced unhook, that the ace has at the low race, which means even with the Nurse getting him down here, there's not going to be a lot of pressure gained. We've actually seen some killers actually just slug out the deli and force the unbreakable play, or force survivors to go for the pickup instead. But this Nurse here wanting to get the hook, I imagine get Pop Goes Weasel in hand as well. Mind you, Deadlock, I think, still on that Carnival gen, and I imagine maybe still just regressing at 0.3% per second. But interestingly enough, you see that the Ada goes for the unhook. No deliverance, in fact, here. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but they are going to go back up to main, get the pop off here.
Yeah, I was about to say, sorry, I got muted there somehow for a second. That's what I was wondering, is that gen has so much progress on the main building. The gen on the other side still has the deadlock. And so I can't, yeah, and Ace able to heal with that med kit. The survivors have an egregious amount of pressure on this nurse right now, as there is no gen scenario to fall back on. They already got the pickup on the Nia as well. Jake having disappeared from sight altogether. There's the lucky break running across the map. I think survivors are looking at a potential out situation here.
I mean, it's definitely outside the realm possibility, though. Popco's Velo put in a lot of work. So too is Eruption. And I will say, with 2 people injured right now, they're in a really bad situation. The Lurk is able to locate where they have gone. I'll say Jake off into Narnia, as that lucky break probably carried them over to Carnival. But as far as the other survivors, they have been nowhere to be seen.
We saw Nia briefly. I think that's where they took the chase initially, but yeah, Nia, after getting picked up, nowhere to be found. Ace also healed up in somewhere. Nurse checking on their generators as best they can, but these survivors, I think they might have stealthed out, and they are going to go for a full reset here.
Yeah, I mean, now is the best time to do so. We see Jake get healed, and Nurse kind of now just patrolling their gens. Mind you, there's no call of brine, so these gens are regressing at a very slow rate of 0.3% per second after an initial 2.5% on the kick. So, you know, things are not exactly regressing at a fast speed.
No, they're not. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of those Carnival gens has a lot more progress than last checked on as well. Yeah, at least one survivor back here. I do not know if this nurse can 4K at this point. I think the survivors have to make a huge error in judgment for them to get a 4K. These survivors have played so incredibly well too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you see them once again trying to get that edge map. Nurse holding their blink, though, really well, as we do see that down on the Ace. This here will be the second hook for them, and Ace will be that much closer being sent back to the campfire via the entity. However, I'm afraid that we might see one, if not 2 gens popping off. We saw Carnival Gen pretty well progressed.
Yeah.
Survivors on there, sure enough.
Yeah, and which generator is the one with deadlock here? Not able to get that pop value. Not surprised there's 2 people. Yeah, the main building gen is not the one that's most progressed. It's the opposite side of the map. These survivors have effectively done 7 full gens this game with how much they split the pressure around. Balanced landing, getting this Nia some much needed ground time. And I don't know, yeah, they actually do get the unhook with Jake, so how much progress does this generator have? It's 99. You know, just a casual 99.
Primed and ready. However, we'll see a full about 20 seconds off that gen that Pop Goes the Weasel, followed up a potential additional 10% if they are able to get the down here on the Nia in time.
Absolutely, they do reset the Ace there. Nia taking a hit. Honestly, just having a great fresh hook here would be good for the killer. And yeah, they will be able to get the down on the Nia here. Hook next to this generator, but we haven't seen main building in a little bit. They could have easily just ran to main building, doubled up on it for 20 seconds, and that should be more than enough to complete it here. I think the survivors are looking at possibly a 2 out. The question is, can they find the Jake, get a fresh hook, and camp them to death and towards the fresh stage?
Yeah, that's going to be a real determining factor here for set 2, as we are going to see Eternal's Blight here after. Laser, though, taking a look at main, and from the sound of things, it does not have a lot of progression on it.
It doesn't. I thought I just saw a survivor run towards the unhook. I might be wrong. Yeah, I think they are content to let the Carnival gens being worked on. They are content to let that happen, and they are just going to make sure that the survivors have to wait as long as possible. Maybe force the second stage off of this survivor, find Jake at the very end. I'm not really sure here.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one gen in Carnival, though, that they're going to be able to get to, and I imagine this is going to be the one that they've been working on this entire time. And sure enough, that is primed and ready to pop. Survivors jumping off it, though. There's the Jake. And I wonder if the Ace is there, too, just to try and set this off in time. But
wait,
no, there. I don't think so. I think that may be a renewal, in fact, as we don't see Ace at all. But we'll know shortly here, as renewal does have that timer ticking down as we speak. And looks like they're trying to go for that light burn on the nurse to extend the chase just a little bit. The question is, will it be enough for them to get the gen completed?
It's a good question. Yeah, it looks like they did get a reset on Nia as well from the renewal. This will be a fresh hook, however, so the nurse is bringing it back with hook stages here, even with that chase going on so long. Now Yeah, because the gen they popped initially that was 99 ready to go has been regressing for a long time. On top of the near 20% that was taken off with Pop Goes losing. Now you can go back to this gen, pop it, make sure that it's not a target, and they have to go to an entirely different gen. Nurse might be able to bring this back to where at least it's not a complete, you know, what would it be? Where there's like, you know, multiple outs here. They might be able to bring it back to where like maybe one person at least. No, but they do finish last generator, and they did the unhook as well on the Jake. Jake taking the borrowed time hit. Okay, I might have spoke too soon. We might be seeing 2 outs.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out there, Nurse a little bit quick on that blink, not having the second one in hand, literally milliseconds before that recharge was up and running. Jake, though, right to the corner, will get down. We've already seen the decisive strike earlier, meaning that we will not be seeing it here again. And I do think that these two survivors will be getting out via the XE. I think the Nurse's best bet is to hook the Jake and secure the 2K.
It would make the most sense. Yeah, Nurse looking at it, and that is not achievable. We will see 2 outs here. At least for the Nurse's sake, it's not fresh outs. It's just the, yeah, because Ace has 1 hook left and Nia has 2. So that's 3 stages that are escaping. And this is 2 additional hook stages for the killer here. So it is 9-stage 2K. Not a bad result for the killer here, but I can guarantee you it's not what they were probably hoping for, especially when they know they have to face another S tier right after this.
Yeah, absolutely. But that being said, it is a Blight, and I feel like Blight is at a little bit of disadvantage in comparison to Nurse being able to navigate that
on this
building.
True. Good point.
But, I mean, Eternal does what Eternal does.
Yeah.
And I get a feeling that their Blight is going to be top-notch, so... With that being said, we're not going to have to wait long for trial number 4, set number 2. It all comes down to this. If Eternal's able to claim victory here, that will be the end of the Group A finals, and Eternal will take the W. But with that being said, we'll not have to wait long. But before we do jump right on in, we are going to go on a quick break. As always, we do want to remind everyone here today that you, yes, you the viewers, are our sponsors, so that as they watch all the bits they tip, all the subs they buy, and of course all the Rogue Energy buy, much like you see Rugaard drinking right over there, goes to point Champs and Fog and our prize pools for Group A and Group B. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
right, folks, welcome back to what could possibly be the final trial of the finals. It's all coming down to this. We got a Blight, and we got Father Campbell's Chapel. And, you know, Gil was talking about it earlier. I'm like thinking about it. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this killer in this map. So, Eviscerate has a chance here to bring it back and force at 3.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing the calculations in between the match. Right now, the Blight is going to need to get a 3K 10 hook in order to secure victory here. But, I mean, Blight with a very early find, a very early hit here on the Ada. And I imagine they are going to, you know, continue this chase as Ada does have that medkit in hand. Trying to do a little bit of mind gaming here. Let's see if it pays off for the Blight. Getting caught a bit on geometry, though. Ada not sure where they went, but Blight will be able to get this rush and will get the down.
Yeah, I think they were tempted to go for the vault there, but realizing they don't have enough time, just hoping to get around that geometry and maybe make Blight miss a flick. However, this will be a very early first to a Corrupt, not really sticking around that long. And really good start for the Blight here. I don't know how the survivors are going to respond. If we don't see at least a gen pop in the next couple of seconds, I think the Blight's in a good spot.
Yeah, and I will note that did Giltspire drop down there. Kind of sounded like the Jake, but hard to say with certainty. We do see Survivor drop down here as well, and Blight making their way back over to the unhook, trying to cut them off and potentially go for the tunnel out on the Ada here.
It would make a lot of sense. However, they do get the full reset. I'm guessing that might be a will make it on the Jake, as that was a very quick heal. Ada will take hit through the pallet, not going to drop it, and Blight does have their rushes up. Can Ada get away and get enough distance, or maybe even a decisive strike?
I mean, it's not at all the wrong possibility here. We do see that Megan's still in hand, I imagine still full, and that there is a Call of Brine notification that we're seeing there over in main. Though going back down, if there's a decisive strike, now's the time to use it.
Absolutely, it would be super huge, and there is no decisive strike here. I think Blight might have even been expecting it as they, you know, looking around for a hook here. And yeah, Call of Brine sending lots of notifications here, and they might even be able, yeah, they do get to finish a deadlock on a separate generator in the corner. Central gen going down first is really, really big here for the survivors. However, I will say it's not as easy for the killer to defend because, again, you don't have that verticality.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the thing that we talked about earlier with the nurse. Not getting a hit there on the Jake through the pallet, however. Jake will get that stun, and I think the Blight will take the resource and go back to the unhook.
Yeah, just as you call it, just as it happens. And yeah, looking around to see if there's any survivor coming back here, seeing they can cut off anybody. It seems like they're content to let Ada hang around for a little bit. However, Jake was making their way back here. And now it's a matter of, actually, looking at this hook, you can't unhook this if the Blight holds it, can you? They don't care. They're just gonna go for it.
Yeah, they're going to go for the 1-4 trade, but I imagine on the Ada, unless that Jake has an unbreakable, things will look a little bit grim. Ada, though, with the double back and the stun, will get a little bit of time left here in this chase. However, Blight getting a flick and getting it down. Just being a little bit patient to ensure, and looks like they go back for the Jake to ensure there is no unbreakable play.
It does look like that. Yeah, this is an incredible amount of pressure from this Blight here. Survivors, the other two survivors are nowhere to be seen. I assume they are just jamming gens right now, and Ada is about to die. I imagine we might see a deliverance here from the Jake since they were the ones coming in for the unhooks. But it is hard to say, but that is one survivor down with 4 gens remaining. Survivors are going to be in a rough spot right now.
Yeah, absolutely, especially as the Blight does find the gen. However, deadlock popping in their face. That is actually pretty huge as they're not able to apply Call of Brine to that gen. There is no Pop Goes the Weasel here.
That's a very good point as well. Yeah, there is no Pop Goes the Weasel. Opting for Call of Brine and Deadlock. And now trying to figure, oh, very good job there from the Rebecca, getting a little bit of distance. Good fake out there. Yeah, it looks like that was the deliverance from the Jake, so I'm wondering where the ace is right now, as, yeah, there's another gen popping. This gen's 99. The other gen across the map being Deadlock. I'm assuming that's one that Jake is on, and yeah, Blight's like, nah, this is not the chase I want to take. I need to go back here and find this Jake.
Yeah, honestly, really well played here by survivors, kind of recovering, and even though there's one survivor out, they might be able to make this work. Like we said, the Blight needs to get a 3K gen hook and another gen popping off. They're not close to making that, meeting their goal here. They need another, what is that, 6 hooks?
Look at this 3 gen though, especially for a Blight. This is exactly what you would want to hold down. However, I guess that gen is a little bit further away from Carnival side, and they do still have a ton of resources back here to utilize. So it's not the worst scenario for survivors here, but it is definitely it's gonna be a tough one to break. This is a lot of pressure in this area.
Yeah, however, that gen over there that they did not kick earlier is not being regressed there by Call of Brine. So I'm a little bit surprised that the Blight did not take the time to do so, as they're now in chase of the Jake and may have lost sight of their goal and their win condition as they get a swing and a miss, maybe showing a little bit of fatigue and or frustration here from the Blight.
It is possible. I think they are very content with how close this 3 generator is. And yeah, they are going back over to check on it. Yeah, there's 3 pistons firing on it. However, Jake is not healed. Yeah, and Colorado is going to be aggressive this. Oh no.
That could be a make or break scenario here. The fact that Jake did not get reset, potentially a little bit greedy on the survivor side of things. And will get the down on the Jake after all. A little bit of mind game there, but not paying off as the Blight will get the down successfully.
Yeah, they are able to get that, and yeah, this gen is just regressing as fast as possible, but the other 2 survivors are not accounted for. They could be doubling up on a separate generator to really try and force split pressure here. Yeah, this generator has a lot of progress here, but now here comes the problem. Second chances have already been used. Deliverance already out of play. We don't know who has the decisive strike. They are going for this unhook here, and I imagine you don't chase the Jake, right? You just go for the fresh survivor and keep the pressure up. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money there. Getting the hit on the Rebecca, kind of forcing these survivors into a really awkward position here. If they try and go for the gens, now they're 1 tap away from getting down. Unless the ace was on the
No
gen,
way!
Immediately, they do get it. That's exactly what I was expecting there. However, we do see a haste stats effect from the Blight, but it does not mean anything, as NOED don't matter when the survivors are already injured.
I mean, I'll take the 4% speed boost every time. I think the 4% speed boost is like one of the biggest things about NOED, but yeah, even if, if you fresh hook here, it doesn't matter. If they can just force the out, they're good.
Yeah, no, exactly. So they're really put into an impossible scenario here unless the survivors are on that, not on the exit gate. Blight needs to rush there ASAP. We do see the lights blinking red.
But it's Jake.
Yeah, Jake's here as well.
Yeah, but Jake has the unbreakable ones. Like, they were the deli players, so do you go for this survivor, or do you try and find another? Like, this is still a really strong scenario for the survivors. Yeah, Ace does get the pickup as well. Rush is coming back online, though. Beautiful tech for the Rebecca, forcing the slide around and wasting that much more time, forcing the pick to boot. They get the door open. Jake is out at the very least. However, they are worth the most points. They need another survivor fresh.
So here's the thing. Jake being out, perfectly fine. Problem is, if Ace and Rebecca get hooked and killed, that secures the win for Eternal.
Right, absolutely. So Jake needs to come back in here and get one of these 2 teammates out. Oh my goodness, this Rebecca's playing absolutely out of their mind. There is the Jake, though, and there's not enough rushes to stop them. And now you get the pickup. This endgame is absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah, no, they need to hook the Rebecca and the Jake. Sorry, not the Rebecca and the Jake. They need to hook the Rebecca and the Ace.
The other door's open!
Oh, this could be it.
I think they managed to hold on.
If they know the win condition, they just leave now.
Yeah, that's all you have to do is you take your out here. I don't think you... Yeah, this is a fresh hook. This is really good for the Blight, but it's not enough. Yeah, that's a full fresh... Rebecca's fresh, right?
Yep, Rebecca is fresh. They needed both Ace and Rebecca. Jake did not need to be hooked at all there. And that there will result in a tie 1-1 set here, forcing us into set number 3.
Okay, so can we just talk real quick about that exit gate setup? I'm trying to wrap my brain around, was that good for the survivors or was that good for the killer? Because if it was farther away, the survivors wouldn't be able to do any kind of team altruism or do any plays like they just did, but at the same time, it's right next to each other. It's a Blight. Was it good for them or not?
I think that's better for the survivors than it is the for the killer than it's the survivors, but they made it work there to say the least. So really well played by both sides, but the survivors eking out and Eviscerate forcing a set number 3.
Wow.
We are going down to the wire as we are going to see Eternal piling the nurse on the Dead Dog Saloon. With that being said, we are going to go on a quick break as we set this up, and I'm excited. Hope y'all are too.
Oh,
That being
man.
said, we do want to remind everyone here today that we are partnered with Pugdom. Pugdom is a Dead by Daylight competitive community very similar to Champions of the Fog. In fact, they are going to be hosting the entirety of Group B over on their channel and Discord. So if you guys already, make sure to stop on by, say hi, drop a follow too. That way you don't miss a single moment of Champions of the Fog Season 6. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
everybody, welcome back to set number 3. Didn't know if we would see it today, but you know what? For the finals, this is kind of perfect, right? Right?
I mean, it's the best way to end this season. Season 5, technically Season 6, as we did have that Season 0. And honestly, if I were to watch two teams duke it out, it would be Eternal and Eviscerate. With that being said, we're not going to have to wait long as we're jumping right on into a beautiful sunset on the Dead Dog Saloon as Nightlight is going to be piling the nurse against Eviscerate Survivor team.
I'm about to say, there's nothing beautiful about seeing a nurse spawn into Dead Dog, but you know what? Different strokes, different folks, and yeah, all right. We were talking about it on the back end a little bit. A lot of things have happened for the Survivors. Well, getting caught out right in the beginning is not one of them, but there is no 3-gen on Gallo's side. That is one thing going for these Survivors. Getting found out early, not what you want to see, though. And yeah, there's still a 3-gen kind of over back here by the water tower regardless, so Nurse does have a good 3-gen and a very, very early first down.
Yeah, no, this is exactly what Nightlight wanted to see. They are going to be trying to go to basement, it looks like.
Sense.
Thankfully, no Survivor on the other end of that pallet blocking their way. But, I mean, this is what Nurse is really going to be able to do here. That spirit that Eviscerate's going to be bringing cannot. And that is be able to protect basement, protect main, protect Gallows. Not having to worry about the verticality at all.
Absolutely. It's kind of crazy to think that, you know, Eternal was able to save their Nurse for set number 3 by playing Twins in the first set, and arguably, it almost didn't pay off. They were put in a very, very bad situation from Twins having that person escape, but it's paying off dividends for them now because obviously, if you're going against a Spirit on a Dead Dog, it's like, okay, that's not a good thing to go against, but if you have a Nurse ready to go, you're like, man, GG, easy, we got this, right?
Yeah,
it's Dead Dog.
I would think so too, but I mean, these teams have not disappointed. They've been playing absolutely out of their minds. You see the first gen popping off. Nurse going to be forcing the second stage, it looks like here. Nightlight not want to give him up. However, no real 3-gen here as well to speak of. And so they're kind of breaking in.
Oh.
Hello, Ace.
I hear you breathing in my ear, and it feels very uncomfortable. Yeah, they do secure second stage there. There is, like, the smallest semblance of a 3-gen still now, but yeah, it's nothing that is insanely strong that Nurse would want, but I mean, it's still Nurse. Even if Survivors got you know, kind of lucked out on the RNG for the gens, it's not where you want to be in. Ace going in for the hook trade here. They will get it. Its question is, can Ada leave?
Yeah, that's the real question. Nurse going for the body block.
Oh, no.
Excellent heads-up play there. That might be enough time for the Nurse to get the down. Ada,
It
you're going
is.
to have to go for the pallet, and yeah, that's insane. Nightlight playing to a T right there. And about a
There's the
strike.
decisive.
Well,
That's what they
and
needed.
Claude trying to go for the stun as well to extend the chase, but Nightlight on top of the Ada like a wet blanket will get the down, and Ada being sent back to campfire via the entity at only 1 gen completed.
And that is why I hear Survivors complain about the new DS so much. And I kind of agree. I wouldn't mind 4 second DS stun at this point, because that was disgusting. That was, despite dropping a pallet, Survivor there ready to take blocks, and it's like, blink, blink, nope, you dead. You are very dead.
Yeah, no, honestly, really amazing job here by Nightlight. I mean, they are a very well-known killer main and a Nurse player at that, so they know exactly what they're doing here. And I feel like these Survivors have a lot left in store as Nurse is prowling around for their next target.
Absolutely, yeah. Applying Pop Goes the Weasel to that generator back there. Honestly, that was pretty well progressed. This gen has about 50%. I don't know how much the water tower has. I imagine that one might be 99 for the sake of deadlock potentially, but regardless, loading these gens up, and they are yellow. I don't know how many gens you can finish here. You have to try and finish at least 3, right? If not 4.
Yeah, I mean, realistically speaking, like we said, the matchup between Spirit and Nurse is going to be looking quite grim. And I think, realistically speaking, I think you need 4 gens at a minimum. I think anything less than that, Spirit's going to be having a really rough time. They'll have to play absolutely out of their mind to put up the same numbers as Nurse. However, Survivor's doing a really good job of evading the sight of the Nurse right now. They are just staying hidden, and Nurse having to check every nook and cranny to try and find them. I'm thinking that there's at least a few gens gonna pop off here.
I think so too. I think one of the, I don't know if I couldn't tell. It looked like the very side of the screen a survivor walked by, but I can't tell from here. Yeah, this generator, you're right, is about to pop. Ace getting caught out. They do have sprint burst, though, able to get away. It does seem like they might be the Deli players since they were the only one that got the unhook, and they have sprint burst. However, able to kick this gen, apply, I believe that is Colubrine because we've seen some gens lose the yellow effect.
Yep, that in fact would be Colubrine. Another gen popping off. These survivors not going down without a fight. Yeah, I mean, this 3-gen here is going to be kind of rough. You have Gallows, you have the corner, you have that middle of the street, and you could argue a 4-gen there with the water wheel, and even argue maybe a 5-gen as Nurse can definitely make their way over to main, but Claudette taking a hit here. Looks like they're going to try and make their way to the corner of the map, but Nurse not giving them any time, will get the down at the pallet. Question is there a survivor coming in for the save? And it does not appear to be the case, as Nurse will put another survivor down in the basement.
Let's say back-to-back basement hooks here. This Nurse is sitting pretty. However, Survivor's not giving up. That was the generator that chased Claudette off of. That is 3 gens down now, and that's not the gen that is across. Oddly enough, Survivors have actually managed to push a lot of generator pressure that I was not expecting.
Yeah, honestly, especially if only 3 survivors left, now 2 left in the game able to actually complete objectives. They're doing a really good job, and Nurse now having to kind of make a choice here on whether or not they're going to protect this hook and force the second stage, or go over towards main, I'd imagine, or water wheel here, as we see this one also pretty well progressed and defend it, and we do see survivors hanging around trying to do so, but unable to get that gen completed in time.
Yeah, but they are able to go for the people as well. Zarina offering themselves on a silver platter. Honestly, I take the Zarina here. You are fresh hook state points, and you are exactly what we want here. Survivors immediately back on the generator. They're forcing the pick as well, trying to waste as much time as possible. Do they think they have enough time with Claudette and Ace up there that they can finish the gen by themselves?
I think that's exactly their thought process here. Nurse thinking the same thing.
Oh no!
Unable to do so. A little bit of a misfire there. And looks like they are going to actually heal up instead, as we see Claudette go from injured to healthy. So unless they're able to get this gen in time, I think all will be for naught.
Yeah, I think that was a med kit on the Claudette's part because I didn't see an Ace there. This gen has a decent amount of progress, but however, you're hook trading, and this Nurse just gets to walk over here, casually apply a pop, and then walk right back to basement. I don't think you can keep up this scenario of hook trading. You need to have a separate gen ready to pop at some point, I think. But Survivors fighting to try and get 4 gens done, that at least gives their Spirit player a decent chance of starting something. Especially if you take a really, really slow build and try and force the game to a grinding halt.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Nurse taking a look at the main building, kind of concerned about it, but does not sound like there's a lot of progress there. We do see the Ace sprint and pass the Nurse, going for that unhook, and like you said, they're really just trying to force this 1-for-1 trade. Nurse not able to interrupt, though, as they will get the hit on the Ace, but now I think they're going to try and body block the Zarina and get both of them, get the 2-for-1 special. Keep in mind, it does look like there's a broken stats effect, that there's renewal, and at the very least, they will remove that value from the Zarina.
True, and Ace will eventually take the hit here and go down. Claudette, they know actually where everybody is. Zarina needs to reset. They do. There's that, renewal value, taking away the mending bar. You'll love to see it. And,
I mean, it's still, what, 12 seconds that they saved there with the renewal, so it's nothing to scoff at, to say the least, and that does allow them to jump right onto the downed Ace to try and get the pickup, and so they do.
Very good point. And however, now they're kind of figuring out where do they need to go chase here. Not a lot of generator progress, like you said, and yeah, with the Nurse having the verticality and the mobility, I don't think that Survivors are going to be able to pull out another gen here. It's going to be a slow death. I'm not actually... How do you even tackle this situation? She has Colubrine. And if you give them a hook, that resets all the pressure you get from sacrificing the Survivor to try and get up on that gen pressure.
I think it comes down to stealth. I think if they're able to stealth past the Nurse, get onto the gen immediately after the Colubrine, hit your great skill checks not to notify the Nurse on top, which I think then and there they can get this 4th gen. But it's going to be a long and grinding match, but not long enough for the Zarina, as they will go down. We did see a Colubrine noise notification over there on main, mind you. So I imagine Nurse will drag them towards the middle here and immediately go for that gen. So this being a little bit of a greedy hook, I think.
Yeah, this is somewhat of a greedy hook placement here. They will be able to get it, and it looks like the gen firing off on the top of the saloon, but here comes the pop goes the weasel, so I don't know if it's going to end up mattering too much.
Yeah, Nurse sees the ace, trying to buy them some additional time. No pop goes the weasel. Ace going away. That may have been a little bit of bait just to get some additional time on this generator, but not enough as it is about to pop off.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is not enough, and there goes Pop Goes Weasel, probably a full piston regressing there. However, there will be a hook trade here on the Zarina. Zarina running for her life, but okay, yeah, they are going to try and go for it here. It looks like Live maybe at play there to get a little bit of distance, but now you just go corner. The question is, can she waste enough time for Claudette to finish that generator up top?
I don't think so. I think that Pop Goes Weasel, that puts in 20 seconds on a 99 gen. So, or sorry, 20% on a 99 gen. I mean, that is huge amounts of value there for the Nurse. As we see here, that is one piston down, and Colubrine now active once again, regressing by 200% per second. I mean, that is huge for the Nurse, to say the least, and just a death blow to these survivors, I think.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. I don't think they're going to be able to finish this generator now with this many hook states. Ace being fresh hook now. Deliverance might be coming into play, but Zarina is death hook. Yeah, there's the Deliverance from the Ace immediately. I will say, I don't know where the Zarina has gone off to just yet. They are going to make it as difficult as possible to get this hook, but unless Claudette's immediately back up there pumping that gen and Ace is there with her, I don't see them finishing this generator.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, especially as Pop is going to be in hand once again. And so only time will tell, but there's also a question of, is there any other generators that the Claude has been working on since this kick on the gen here? And I'm thinking that might actually have been the play. Nurse now having to guess between these last three on which one they might be on, but I imagine they were at 0, so at the minimum, about 55 seconds in order to complete a generator.
Yeah, it is not looking good for these Survivors. I think they gave it, that was kind of their last hurrah trying to get that Saloon Gen. But again, Pop Goes the Weasel just proving to be such an effective slowdown here. You see them going back to the top, but now, well, okay, here's the one thing. You could still try for Exegate strats. There are still Exegate strats at play, but I don't know, Shaq's in the middle of the map. You've got Stealth on your side. I don't know exactly what you can do here. Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a slug for the 4K. Actually, that might be the tech is what we were talking about earlier with the hatch being the way it is right now. They actually have to find this other survivor, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, so for those who don't understand the context, apparently this last hotfix did change one slight thing when it came to hatch, and that is hatch priority. Before is dependent on where everyone was placed. You could technically block survivors from being able to escape, giving priority to the killer and thus getting the close in the face of the survivors. However, right now there does seem to be a slight change as survivors have dedicated priority and actually are guaranteed to get out via the hatch in the instance that both the killer and survivor are standing on it. And so with that being said, there is an argument to be made that the Nurse is unable to go for the kill on the Ace.
Yeah, and I think they're going to take their chances here. I guess what you do is you wait for the timer to start coming in, and then you just try and two-tap the survivor before they get a chance. You try and figure out where the survivor is, because they are going to have to start crouching slowly towards this area. I think they have balance landing. I want to say we saw Sprint Burst and Lithe already. I think she has balance landing. So if they're able to intercept the survivor before they get here, if they see them, that's something?
Yeah, I think you're right with that mentality. However, Nurse placed squarely on the hatch spawn. No sign of the Claudette. Mind you, they are not fresh. They have been hooked once. So this would be a total of 2 points out for the survivors.
Wait, they're not dying. Are they on a generator?
That is a possibility.
I think the
Nurse
water tower is firing
here with this hatch. They haven't checked water wheel in a hot minute. Is it possible that they actually go for the gen? Ace does die though, unless it's about the pop. I think this will be
the
hatch close coming in, trying to get this hatch closed. Let's see if they have the right placement.
They don't.
Nurse will end up on it, blocking the Claudette. That is kind of what you need to do. If both are standing on the hatch, it gives priority to the survivor, but here we see that the Nurse blocked the Claudette from being able to even touch the hatch, ensuring that they're able to get the close in time. And
Where
I
did she
think
go?
this here, you know, your guess is as good as mine.
Wait,
But
is she on
Audit
the exit gate? No, she's not.
Nope,
Okay.
she's right there.
Okay. I was about to say, what?
Now, Claude with one last hurrah, gets the heal off in the face of the nurse, and looks like he'll do one last chase as EGC counts down. V1 will get down, and this here will be the end of trial number 3. Spirit from Eviscerate is going to need to get a 4K at
2 gens up.
2 gens. Actually, just 2 gens completed, because here's the thing. Yeah, so here's the TLDR. We did the math on the back end, and in the instance that set 3 ends in a draw, we will go to overall points to determine the winner. Based on set 1 and set 2, Eternal will be up by 7 points. In other words, Eviscerate Spirit will need to get a 4K at 2 gens completed or less in order to secure victory. It's an uphill battle, not impossible, but we'll have to wait and see as we do get this lobby set up and ready to go for your viewing pleasure. With that being said, we are going to go on a quick break as we do set up this lobby. As always, we do want to remind everyone here today, thank you all for supporting us through now 6 seasons of Champions of the Fog. As you, yes, you the viewers, are our sponsors. So that as they watch, all the bits they tip, all the subs they buy, and of course all the Rogue Energy you buy using the code COTF goes supporting Champions of the Fog, and our prize pool is for Group A and Group B. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
right, folks, welcome back to the final trial of the finals here. A lot of finals in that sentence, but I'm okay with that. And it is going to be ending with a Spirit on the Dead Dog Saloon. And this is a tough ask for the Spirit. But as we've seen from the games today, this is why we play the game, right? We've seen some crazy comebacks, and I wasn't expecting us to even get to this far, so all comes down to this.
No. It has been quite the match today, and I mean, at the end of the day, we say it every time, it's not over until the entity sings, and sings the tune of Sacrifice Survivors.
I'm gonna say, what is the entity sing? What does that sound like?
Oh, it sounds like 4 survivors all dying at the same time in basement. It's a beautiful sound.
I'm gonna say, that definitely sounds beautiful to me, but with that said, looking at the corrupt setup here, bit of a split corrupt. And they do have a 3-gen, but I don't think they have the mythical 5-gen that, you know, killers can dream of. And they do find the Ace, however. Ace using Sprinters to get a little bit of distance here, pre-dropping. Question is, can they 2-tap and get away here? Nah, Ace held W being very silent. Are the footsteps different on this map than other maps? I think they're quieter, right?
They are. So Dead by Dead does have a little bit of dynamic sound, quote unquote dynamic, when it comes to the material that the survivors are walking on, and so the ground itself is a little bit quieter. There's the firecrackers from the survivor trying to get a little bit of distance here from the Spirit, though will get the stun as well at the water wheel. Kate doing a fantastic job here running Spirit, and like we said, this winning condition is going to be quite difficult to meet. It needs to be a 4K at only 2 gens or less completed in order to avoid a tie scenario or loss. That being said, this Kate is just going to be throwing every single resource at the Spirit, I feel, and extending chase bit by bit, and looks like Spirit will get the down. Actually, the grab on the Kate, really well played there.
Absolutely. We hear Gallows Gen firing away as we speak. Spirit looking around. They got plenty of hooks to choose from here. First hook on this Caterate. Yeah, we see a damage. That is a... But did that gen explode? That's a Scourge hook, but is that the gen that exploded right there? Oh my goodness, that would have been a grab.
Yeah, that was really close. Honestly, really well done there by the Ace with that split-second timing. Honestly, Ping probably could have screwed him over there, but it did not for once. And Ace now in chase. This Spirit trying to go for the fresh hook here. And looks like Ace will be going to this pallet here. Actually, sorry, Kate. I thought they were on Ace, but I guess not. Instead, the Kate going for the tunnel out.
Yeah, they are going for this quick tunnel out. I'm wondering if they have a Scourge hook in this corner as well to keep that gen from firing. First gen has not finished. They're hooking right here. Is this a Scourge hook? It is! That is an additional 15% off the most progressed generator, which doesn't seem to be Gallows, so the Spirit is looking around trying to figure out where that generator is. Is it this one? It's not. It must be the water wheel generator then. It's so far away.
Yeah, honestly, Survivors doing a really good job spreading out the gen pressure, not kind of holding down to that 3-gen, not focusing on main, you know, really making sure that it's going to be difficult. And Spirit coming, Spirit coming over to try and interrupt, but Gallows does get completed just in time to stop the kick. And it looks like Spirit will be going back to the hook, but honestly, I don't know if this is the right move.
I would tend to agree, and Kate does take the hit there. Spirit power is coming back online soon. They might be able to get the tunnel here, but not before Deadlock's going to be up, and they'll be able to finish that second generator. They can't let the second generator finish. They need to find a way to stabilize, and she is running to the opposite side of the map. I think the Kate has taken the correct path, and I imagine we will see that generator popping in just a moment. There were so many pistons firing on it.
Yeah, realistically speaking, we're probably going to see Water Wheel completed here. And sure enough, there's a second gen. At this point in time, the Spirit needs to get a 4K. No other gens completed. However, Kate going down, forcing the 3v1 scenario now once they get the hook. They need a Scourge hook here. However, wait a second.
Water Wheel.
They didn't complete Water Wheel, which means it's probably 99.
Most likely. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happens here. I think you need to have a really good set of chases and all the survivors to not be in a good spot, but I don't know that's the scenario here. We are chasing back over here. Were they ready to pop this? Actually,
I mean,
it's not quite
primed.
Yeah, it is.
It's primed and ready to go. There's the Ace taking the chase, popping the gen to boot. trying to avoid a potential pop. Goes the Weasel if there is one. Ace going down though, and we do see main building now blocked by the Entity due to deadlock.
I was about to say, I think it was possible hitting the Ace there might have not been the play. Instead, realizing it's 99, run over to that generator and kick it real quick so they can't just one-tap it.
Yeah, but even then, that's only 2.5%, and we do see the, I believe that's the Wakizashi coming into play, almost like a Dredge before Dredge, where you can teleport back to the Husk. I actually really enjoy using that add-on, but we do see no one going back for that unhook.
Indeed. Very, very unfortunate here for the killer, but again, it's such a difficult ask for, especially like, when you know you had to fight a spirit against a nurse, it's just not where you want to be. An Ace, possibly a Deliverance? I think it might be Deliverance, because they did take the hook early on, or the unhook early on.
Yeah, and we do see the Claudette going into main there, and we see another gen popping off.
Oh, man.
I mean, these survivors have been playing brilliantly, and honestly, I wasn't even expecting that gen there to be the one to do so either. These survivors just absolutely on top of it, ignoring every single, strategy that this spirit has to implore. Honestly, really well played by these survivors, but I do not expect much less from them. And Spirit trying to get usage out of that Wakizashi, but unable to get the hit on the Claudette.
Honestly, very cute usage of it there, and they almost got some benefit from it, but Claudette just playing so perfectly there. Look at how, honestly, this is where I use the term buttery smooth survivor, because man, they are slippery. Man, they are slippery to try and get a hold of.
Yeah, no, really well done. We do see a skill check miss there, however, and looks like they are going to be trying to complete that. However, Ace kind of caught out here. Spirit just taking their time, and Ace with the sprint burst. Really well played there, just kind of holding it and waiting to get that back as Spirit will charge their phase walk, but unfortunately not able to get a lot of distance as they will in fact get down.
Oh man, and yeah, we even heard the split steps. Zarina coming in from the back to get the, Are they just sitting there at the pallet there? Okay, I was gonna say, like, that's a lot of lines, and oh, okay, I love this graphical glitch where her weapon is just like fused into her hand.
Yeah, it's the same thing of Blight when he gets stunned out of his Blighted Serum. Same idea there. But we will see the swing and the hit on the Zarina. All three survivors currently injured. So a really good spot here for the Spirit. However, we do want to note that the win condition has been met here, and Eternal, in fact, will be the victor of this match.
That they will, and again, really well fought by both of these teams, forcing the set 3 even, and even then it was really close. It's just, I think what it came down to, despite the fact that both teams played obscenely well, I think it just came down to Eternal's kill pick ended up paying off for them, again, taking twins in the early match, and while it was almost punished, this saved them Nurse for the final bit, and Nurse was definitely the killer they needed to clutch out this match.
Ace trying to get in for that pallet drop, not able to get the stun though. Zarina on the Spirit's back nonetheless, and Ace injured too. Honestly, really good value there for the Spirit, but unfortunately we do see that 5th gen popping off. The Claudette getting healed off Adrenaline, and looks like they're going to make their way trying to cut off the Ace.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't know where the Ace went there, as Claudette was probably back on the gen. Yeah, about to say they're heading to that exit gate that was nearby the gen they popped. Ace nowhere to be seen. Honestly, this kind of did a bit of a disappearing act there. But regardless, they will be taking chase of the healthy survivor here. And I can imagine Ace is probably on an exit gate.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, though. In fact, going for the unhook, potentially 20 seconds have probably passed. They may, in fact, have gotten that exit gate open and primed, and could potentially attempt to force a hatch escape here for the Claudette.
It would make the most sense. She hasn't taken a hit yet. If you can get both these survivors out, she has more than enough time to run to the hatch if she really feels like it. However, it seems like she might be heading that way now. Do we see an exit gate opens to allow her to get hatchers? Claudette going to end up getting a hit here.
Yeah, it looks like Claudette trying to get to this pallet to extend the chase. There's the exit gate open. We see 2 survivors. The Zarina taking the hit for the Claudette. I wonder if the Claudette has yet to be hooked. In fact, they are fresh.
Yeah, Claudette is fresh here, and so they are going to be taking the Zarina instead. Yeah, there's those 3 states. Zarina is representing 2 hook states here, but again, playing it out to the very end, padding their points as much as humanly possible here. Just really, really well played.
I'm not gonna lie, the Wakizashi starting to throw me off.
Yeah, no, the Wakizashi, like I said, it's really fun. It's basically Dredge before Dredge came out. And honestly, it can be really useful on some maps like the game where you have those really strong tiles and really strong pallets where you can kind of set up your husk on one side, force the survivor over and get the down. So if they're not aware of it, you can get some really amazing value. But unfortunately, Spirit not able to pull it off there. And that there, friends, is going to be the end of the match. Eternal taking Season 5's championship, and they will be crowned as the winner for this match. Eviscerate coming up second, but honestly, should not despair as they played a very hard-fought match, and honestly, really showed what they are capable of doing.
Absolutely. Again, I think there's a lot that came into this match here, and I think one of the big turning factors, I'll reiterate, I think it just came down to killer selection a little bit too. Again, having Nurse for this final set in the back pocket is just a shoo-in. And so I think they were playing for the long game. And to be fair, it almost didn't pay off for them. Again, that gamble almost lost them potentially because they could have lost set number 1 because of it. But
yeah,
just really, really good play from both sides. I don't know. I think Trial 1 is going to be scarred into my brain for just how much of like an up and down roller coaster that game was. But man, that was fun. Some absolutely amazing games today.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that being said, that there will close out Season 5. Before we wrap things up, I want to thank everyone who has supported us, and especially our staff, and also you, Rue, and all of our other casters and co-casters here on James and Fog. Honestly, I'll be honest, it's been almost 2 years now since James and Fog's inception, back in March of 2021, I believe. I'd actually have to check my About Me when I set that up.
That sounds about right, actually.
Yeah, March 29th of 2021, almost 2 years now that James Fog has been going. And honestly, did not think we were going to get this far, even get close to being able to apply for Twitch partner. But we are going to be going on just about a month break as we will be starting up qualifiers January 14th for Group A and Group B. So definitely be on the lookout as we will be getting signups up shortly in probably the next 3 days or so. So keep an eye out for that. And if that being said, Rue, do you have any parting words for us and the viewers here today?
I'm very curious what you were about to say in place of it, but oh man, not a lot. It's again, I kind of say it at the end of every season. It's crazy that it's gone by so fast, and I'm very much looking forward to Season 6 and what comes around the corner. And to all the Killermans out there, please play Mastermind more in comp. I want to see more Mastermind play. I am desperate to see this killer perform, but nah, with that said, thanks for, Rogue Energy getting me through casting, and happy Season 6. Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
Awesome. Well, from me and everyone here at Champs of the Fog, happy holidays to all who celebrate, as we are in December now, and almost to
Where
the
did
New
the time
Year's
go
as
this
well.
year?
Seriously. But happy holidays and soon to be happy New Year to everyone. Thank you all for supporting us. We'll be back January 14th. Don't go anywhere though. And if you haven't already, make sure to join our Discord, and also go follow Pugdom over on Twitch. Go follow Rugaard over on Twitch. Join their Discords as well if you haven't already. And we see ya in just about a month.
Take care, everybody. See you in Season 6.